to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Breann Titus. She's Chief Visionary Officer with Community Action. Breann, it's good to see you today. How are you?
Yes, good morning. Sorry I couldn't be in person. We always have such a great time, but
It's
I'm happy to be here.
No worries. It's once in a blue moon. I honestly can't remember the last time you couldn't make it in studio. So this one time we'll let it slide. But don't make a habit of it,
Good.
okay? You're right. It's too much fun when you're in person here. But we
Absolutely.
appreciate you making time for us as always, Breann. And I know one thing that is top of mind for you and the folks at Community Action is that May is Community Action Month, which I didn't even know this was a thing. So tell me about this.
Yeah, so every May is Community Action Month, and really it's just a time for us to celebrate and honor all of the programs and services that we do as an agency. As many probably know, Community Action is a nationwide organization, and so there's thousands of organizations all over the country that do similar work to Capsule. We are just one small part of that. I was looking into some data the other day, and nationwide, the CAP agencies serve about 7 million families annually.
Mhm.
And so we are just a small component of that. And we serve just shy of 4,000 families annually, and between 7 to 8,000 individuals. And a lot of those families are receiving multiple services.
Mhm.
And so you can kind of see how we're just a small part of that. And so Community Action Month really is not only spotlighting our agency specifically and some of the great things that we're doing locally, but also to spotlight from a national perspective what that impact looks like, and kind of what we're all doing for one mission and one focus, and all of us working together to make sure that services like this and resources in our communities are available nationwide. So, on social media, we're making sure that we're spotlighting a lot of different things, whether that be client success stories, programs, resources, even some trivia questions with some throwback questions, and things like that. So it's been kind of really fun to kind of showcase all of that. We've brought in our Head Start students to make some videos for us
Mm.
for this month. And of course, to celebrate, we're going to open our doors. We haven't done that in a long time. And so we're opening every single one of our branch offices throughout our 6 county service area, and we're hosting open houses. And just inviting the community, local leaders, to come and check out our facilities. We'll have staff available from all of our programs.
Mhm.
And so just kind of getting to know a little bit more about our agency. I hear all the time, like, oh, I didn't know you did that, or I only knew that you were Head Start.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's just because that's the service that they've connected with.
Mhm.
But we are so much more than just one program and one service. And this is the ability for us to kind of showcase that. So we'll actually be in Clinton, at the DeWitt County Outreach Office next to the Dollar Tree, Monday night from 4 to 6.
Mhm.
And so we just invite the community to come and see us and meet us and talk more about our programs.
Sure, very good. So come on out and yeah, like you said, meet the folks at Community Action here in DeWitt County. And folks probably drive by there, Breann, and they see that facility, and they may not know exactly what goes on inside. So a good opportunity, like you said, to learn about the services and everything Community Action has to offer. How about open houses across the rest of your service area? Do you have times and dates set for some of those?
Yeah, so we actually had two this week. We had one in Lewiston, which is in Fulton County. And then we also had last night, we were in Piatt County, at the Monticello Outreach Office. So we have had those two have already been and gone by. We will be in Logan County. There's several of them, but our big open house at our central outreach office there on 5th Street is Wednesday, the 13th, and that is from 11 to 1. Most of our open houses are, afternoon, evening. We did 11 to 1 for our central office just because it's the most trafficked office of ours. We will also have Ameren, Illinois there during that period of time
Mhm.
to talk about some clean energy initiatives. And if you come to the central office, one in Logan County, if you bring an Ameren bill with you or your Ameren bill, they'll actually receive a free energy kit from them. So you don't have to be a Logan County resident as long as you have Ameren. So if you really are interested in that energy kit, come see us at 1800 Fifth Street on Wednesday, May 13th from 11 to 1 and talk to Ameren and get to know some of their initiatives and to get that energy kit. So
Sure.
and then, of course, our Logan Head Starts, we have multiple. And so those are more towards the end of the month. I was trying to pull up the exact schedule
Mhm.
because I have it. I just didn't have it on my right next to me. So, but on our Facebook page, we have not only the listing of every single location
Mhm.
and their times and addresses and dates, but we also have ones for the individual um, options as well.
Sure.
So whether you're, in that area or you want to come see a different outreach office, that's okay too.
Mhm.
You can come to any of them that you want to see and check us out.
All right, very good. Breann Titus, she's the Chief Visionary Officer for Community Action, our guest here on the Zoom this morning. And of course, May is Community Action Month. Breann, you mentioned a lot of folks just kind of have the perception that community action is whatever touch point they have with the agency, right? You mentioned
Yes.
Head Start is probably the most common. But I know over the years, your mission has really shifted from a handout and assistance model to a hand up and trying to lift people out of poverty, lift them out of their current situation. Let's talk about some of the ways you do that. What does that look like for the agency?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we've shifted, I would say probably 10 years ago to more of that hand up mentality, less emergency services. We do still offer some emergency services depending on the situation. Obviously, people come to us sometimes when they're in crisis, and we don't want to completely ignore that, and we don't want to push them out and say, we can't help you because we don't offer emergency services. So we do have some different options for that. We've talked on the air before about kind of how we do that with some of our programs not being emergency services with our federal funding and state funding. And those unrestricted donations that come into the agencies is really what allows us to be able to fill those gaps and to serve that immediate need and that crisis need. And so that's why those unrestricted donations are so important because a lot of our grants don't allow us to serve that crisis need. However, we do have our energy services and our light heat program. That can help kind of, more like if people are disconnected,
Mhm.
we can help them with that. So that can be a little bit more of that emergency service. We do offer some rental assistance. At times, depending on how the funding looks.
Mhm.
And so that can sometimes be more of emergency service. But regardless of the reason we're meeting our customers and our clients, we're having a conversation with them. So
Mhm.
we may need to help them in that immediate need within the first, couple of hours with something very specific. But our goal is not to end there.
Mhm.
If that's handing them a food voucher to go get some groceries or paying off their utility bill so they can kind of have some breathing room, that's not where the conversation stops. We sit down with them, we educate them, we talk to them about ways that they can make their home more energy efficient to kind of help lower their utility bill.
Mhm.
We maybe even go as far as talking to them about their monthly budget.
Mhm.
What are we paying for every month that's taking up funds that could go and help pay for the basics, food, shelter, transportation. And sometimes there is things that we can say, hey, like I know to you right now that feels important, maybe that Netflix subscription or whatever. But in the long game of it all, maybe we need to temporarily suspend that service or that subscription so that we can cover our basic needs.
Mhm.
And so sometimes they've had never had anybody teach them that. And that's really the conversation we have with them. And we kind of help them go through the budget, help them go over what obstacles they have, challenges, what needs to happen? Do they need to get their GED? Do they need to get a certificate? Do they need to go to school? Do they need a resume? What does that look like? And so that's really where our main focus is and where we thrive as an agency is those later conversations, not just helping with in the moment crisis.
Sure. Very good. Excuse me. Well, Breann, I'll tell you what, on that note, anything else about community action you want to point out to folks? I guess I'll ask this. I apologize. I had this thought while you were talking there. Funding. Is community action reliant solely on, say, donations and fundraising? Is this an ongoing effort for you? Do you take advantage of grants? How is community action funded?
Yeah, so funding is super important to be able to provide these programs and resources to our communities. About 75% of our funding does come from federal and state grants. As many of you know, although that seems like they're fairly secure. We know what it feels like to not have a state budget. We know what it feels like to potentially lose federal funding. We've been through this multiple times before. We've been able to come out surviving, which is fantastic. But the reality is that regardless of where the money's coming from, it's never 100% guaranteed. And so we have to be proactive in that thought process and how we're going to protect our agency, how we're going to protect our resources, and how we're going to be able to help the community. And so we do fundraisers. We seek out different donations from different organizations, individuals, things like that. We partner with different individuals. For example, in Logan County, we partner with a local church, and they donate part of their benevolence fund to us, and they help with the guidelines of what that fund is going to be used for, and then we help administer that for them. It works both ways. It helps them kind of focus on their mission and their priority, and then it allows us to still help the community in those needs that they need, on the daily basis. So it's a great partnership, but things that we're looking at doing. So, every period of time throughout January through December, any time that somebody can give a donation, attend a fundraiser, volunteer their time, all of that helps us continue to do what we do every day and continues to make our mission possible. So it's all greatly appreciated. But yeah, unfortunately, we do not live in a world where funding is 100% guaranteed all the time.
Good question. Yeah. And I didn't realize that about like partnerships with the church and helping them administer benevolence and things of that nature. That's a cool thing for sure. Very good. Well, on that note, Breann, I look at the clock. Let's take a break. Best way for folks to follow along and learn more about community action.
Facebook is the best place to find us. Everything's updated daily. So just search Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois on Facebook, like and follow us, and stay up to date.
Very good. Breann Titus, Chief Visionary Officer with Community Action, our guest on the Zoom. More to come with Breann on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW. Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace now offers free assembly and free delivery, so it's never been easier to get a great grill for your family, like a Weber gas grill, a Traeger wood pellet grill, or a Big Green Egg charcoal grill. Only at your neighborhood Ace. Around the block. What you need in stock. With people who know their grills.
This is Brad from Gibson Ace Hardware in Clinton, Illinois. Stop in to see us, The Helpful Place, at 114 North Madison Street, Clinton.
See participating store for details.
SIU Center for Family Medicine is here to help with back to school and sports physicals. Healthy kids learn better and play harder. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the Zoom, Breann Titus, Chief Visionary Officer with Community Action. Breann, what is going on in the agency these days? What's keeping y'all busy?
So many things. I was just thinking while we were on the break that I don't know if your kids are, but my kids are literally counting down days until they're no longer in school.
Not quite yet. We go. I don't know what Mount Pulaski goes to. We go into June this year, believe it or not.
Oh, they have like 9 days left.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they are counting down the days until school is out for the summer, which is crazy because it's freezing outside.
I know, right? Yeah.
So it doesn't really fit, the typical May timeframe and mindset that most of us have.
No.
However, so many of us are in this school's almost out for the summer mentality. But the crazy thing that people need to remember is that also means that finding placement for next year, for next school year, is also on the horizon. For example, we were talking about Head Start earlier, and our Head Start programs are already taking applications for next school year. They're already talking to parents and starting placement for next school year. So if you are needing to get your child in to school, we work with birth to 5 in our Head Start locations. And so now is the time to do that, to make sure that you can have a really great chance at getting your kid into the classroom. We're an early childhood education program. It is free for eligible families. And if you are a SNAP benefit family, you're automatically qualified to apply for Head Start. But we have some amazing teachers. So shout out for Teacher Appreciation Week. So we have some amazing teachers. They work so well with these kids. I love seeing the activities that they're doing in the classroom, and just getting creative. We had one classroom that they were doing a unit on insects. And so you can kind of imagine what you think that curriculum may look like with kids at preschool age level. But they were using like little plastic insects, and they were actually dipping them in paint, and they were actually painting with these insects. So as they were learning about the insect, they were also learning about art and creativity, and they were also learning about what that insect kind of like stamp what it left. And so I just thought that was very cool and creative. But they also work heavily in routine. And I know Chrissy, our Head Start director, has been on the air several times and probably talks more in depth about that. But it is a great environment, and just a great place for them to socialize and to develop emotionally, academically, all of it. So don't hesitate. I know everybody's excited for summer, but make sure you get your spot secured for Head Start first for next school year before you get excited about summer and really get to enjoy that. Sure.
Remind us, Head Start, Breann, you mentioned it's kind of early childhood intervention, those sorts of things. What does the day-to-day look like? Is it a standard classroom? How about that?
Yeah. It is mostly standard classroom. We do have a few in some of our outlining counties that do like a morning session and an afternoon session. However, majority of our classrooms are full day classrooms. And most of our classrooms have transportation. So they also get to ride on a school bus. And so they kind of get to experience what that looks like. So when they go to kindergarten, they're prepared for that. And they go into the classroom and they start their day with a routine, just like any other classroom. They have a snack and they have lunch together. And so really the routine is set up to prepare them for when they go to kindergarten. They know what to do in a classroom environment. They know how to act in a classroom environment. They know what to expect and what their behavior is expected of. And so there is lots of layers and levels to that that they're looking at. But they're also doing academic things. You know, they're doing fun stuff too, but they're also learning, you know, their colors and numbers and letters. And I had one classroom that I went into, and they were speaking full words. I mean, one was like almost completely reading by herself, and she wasn't even in kindergarten yet. And so this is the type of environment that they're in on a day-to-day basis. And so it's not just a babysitting, it's not just a daycare facility, and nothing against either one of those. I know some very structured daycares, but this is truly more of a preschool, early childhood education environment where they are learning routine, they're learning things developmentally, and really prepping them for kindergarten.
How do folks learn more about Head Start for 26-27, Breann?
Yeah, capsule.info is our website. There is a Head Start page. There's so much information on there. There's also a contact form at the bottom that you can put in your information that will send it to our Head Start staff to reach out to you to kind of talk more about the program and get an application started.
Very good, Breann. Always good to see you. Thanks for making time for us. Breann Titus, Community Action, Chief Visionary Officer, Network News on the way.
WHOW.